Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Madden NFL 25 New Orleans Saints franchise. It's always a great time to come back to the channel and record more Madden. I always have fun with the game, I'm really honest. But in the last episode, we went into quite the shootout with Brandon Monroe, the rookie quarterback, and the New York Jets, where he ended up being victorious, winning 42-35. Both Brandon Monroe and Derek Carr's stats were very similar to each other, but Kendre Miller had quite the breakout game. 2 touchdowns and over 150 yards running the football. And the receiving game, of course, was not bad by either side. And the defenses were amazing on both sides. 6 interceptions total for both teams. No quarterback, corner, or secondary player had more than one. Kool-Aid McKinstry would get his first big interception of the year, which I'm glad to see that. But with that win, it now puts us at 4-1 on the year, eclipsing the NFC South so far, not by a huge margin, but by a decent margin. As this week we have to take on the Atlanta Falcons this time around. It should be a fun one. I think the Atlanta Falcons to be the best team in the NFC South. I honestly think that's probably the third best. We wanted to check out Jordan Howden. In the last episode, we also had a potential breakout opportunity for him, where if he did, I don't remember what it was by heart, but if he did complete said challenge, he would be increased to star development. And he's actually having surprisingly a really good year. He's on pace to eclipse last year's numbers by a huge margin. And I didn't expect Jordan Howden to have this kind of year this year, and I'm glad that he is stepping up to the plate when need be. This week we also get our first look at the mock draft this year, which is pretty important as we are early in the year, and it kind of sets the pace as to far as who we could see pick in the top 5, or who we could see picked. Obviously, I don't think the first mock draft has that much relevance since it's early in the year, and these positions could easily change for each team and even each player. But to say the less, Sharif Barnett is projected to go number 1 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I think would be an amazing pick. But number 2 has the Panthers going with Charlie Edwards, potentially finding a replacement for Bryce Young, who I don't think is having that bad of a year this year, nor is he really playing that poorly, or has he been playing that poorly this year or for his career either. Right now, the mock draft has us picking at 29, which, if I'm going to be honest, I don't have that much confidence in the Saints team to really keep up their momentum, but maybe I should because it's the team I'm controlling. This week we have to take on the Atlanta Falcons, who have not found themselves being super streaky. They've kind of split each game they played, and the last week they would lose 24-17 at home to Drake May and the New England Patriots. And in that game, Michael Penix would be sacked 4 different times. And the offense kind of wasn't supremely amazing. Jordan Mason, a new pickup by the Vikings, traded from the Vikings during the offseason, didn't have an amazing game. The offense didn't pull their whole weight, if you ask me. Like I said, I think the Falcons are still the most threatening team in the NFC South, yes, over the Buccaneers. And Michael Penix isn't having that bad of a year. Obviously, he did have the one game where he had, if I remember correctly, 4 touchdowns in that one game. He's thrown 6 outside of that one game in 4 games. But the offense, I think, is still threatening. They got guys like Bijan Robinson. They have the receiving core led by guys like Drake London, Ray McLeod. Of course, they have Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, which I think is a very solid receiving core for this team. Jordan Mason, if you ask me, I think is a solid number 2. But then again, if you ask me in Madden, I don't think running back is a very important position to really buy into, but that's just me. And they have a solid defense. Their front 7 isn't supremely the strongest, but I find their strength in the secondary. Guys like Caden Ellis, Juan Giselle, who they drafted, AJ Terrell, the best guy on their squad. As you look more at Juan Giselle, who does have star development, 81 overall. He's already got an interception on the year. And I think he could really help out this Atlanta squad. He was the 15th pick in the draft during the offseason, if you remember the offseason episode, which is a long time ago, I know. But I think this guy can really help boost their secondary, because I think when it comes down to Atlanta Falcons, their secondary is the deepest and the most threatening part of their defense. along with guys, of course, like Jesse Bates and Clark Phillips. But also in the draft, they picked up Eric Fulcher as well, who starts at strong safety. I almost said shortstop because I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show. But they've got Eric Fulcher as well. And I believe the top 3 draft in the top 3 rounds, Bijan Robinson, he's going to miss this week. Unfortunately for the Falcons, he's going to be out with an injury, so Jordan Mason is going to be the starting running back, at least for the time being. Look a little bit deeper at their receiving core. I think it is pretty strong and pretty deep. Like I said, Kyle Pitts, Ray McLeod, Drake London, they've got Rondell Moore. Kyle Pitts, I'm surprised he only has star development. I think he's thrown development trip at some point, but he hasn't really had that breakout year outside of his rookie year yet. And hopefully he can develop into that player in the game and even in real life. I do like the Falcons. I live in Atlanta. I'm not going to say that. We did make a few slight changes to the sliders. I don't really talk too much about the sliders. We did lower QB accuracy. It did feel like a lot of times the quarterbacks weren't really missing a lot of their throws as consistently. We didn't really change too much on the sliders either. I know I'd have my power for kicking and accuracy a little bit lower to make things a little bit more realistic. And the injury sliders I usually keep around the 20s and 30s. It's not too much to where injuries are every play, but it's not too little to where injuries don't really happen, which I think is a okay middle ground for now. We get a deeper look at Peyton Turner's mentorship, mentored by Carl Granderson. He's doing all right so far. He is going to get a slight upgrade, and we are going to talk a little about the game plan against the Atlanta Falcons. In this one, we have to focus heavily on the run game, about how Kendre Miller can outplay Jordan Mason. Now, of course, the game is going to say Bijan Robinson, but Bijan Robinson is not playing today. But I think Kendre Miller, with how outstanding he was last week against the Jets, can do it again this week against the Falcons. Of course, as we look around and get the stats, the Falcons do have a top 10 offense led by Michael Penix, and like I said, their receiving core, which I've been glazing so far. We have the number 1 offense in the league right now with 4-1 for a reason. Our offense is very strong. The defense, not so much, so we'll get into that in a little bit. We have the best run game, which start of the year I didn't think the run game was going to be that strong, even though I did praise it and think they weren't going to have 1,300 yards, but I think they'll definitely hit that mark. The Falcons already have a supremely strong run game to start the year, despite having, in my opinion, one of the best young running backs in the entire NFL. As for the defensive side, the Ravens hold the ground as the best defense in the league. We have easily the worst. Our run defense is actually not that bad. We can defend the ground game pretty decently well, but we obviously, as you guys have seen, we haven't been able to defend the air attack on it well. We haven't been able to hold our ground despite having a solid secondary, but as I said, I think the Saints front 7 is probably the best part. The secondary has to improve bit by bit, and it showed, and it definitely has not shown this year. Despite it being 4-0, we've allowed a lot of points and a lot of big plays by all the quarterbacks we played against, especially guys like Brock Purdy, Brandon Monroe last week. He had to deal with Baker Mayfield the week before. Just look at the injury pool, a lot of injuries stacked up. Chris Olave did suffer a turf toe injury during practice, so we'll miss out on him. And a lot of injuries on this team. Last week we were able to win out against the Jets, but can we do the same against the Atlanta Falcons on the road, especially without our best receiver and of course defensive guys like Brian Breesy and Pete Warner. Because Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Alexander Madison are gone, we did look a bit through the practice squad pool to see if we can find someone to take their place, since we don't really want Kendre Miller to potentially get injured and have to use a fullback, or realistically for him to take all the snaps when he doesn't have to. I know trading probably would have made a little bit more sense, but I didn't really want to force a trade when we didn't have to make it, nor when we really don't have the pieces to really make a big move for a different running back. As I already said before, I have my stance on running backs, where I don't think you need a supremely strong running back. But after viewing all the teams, or most of the teams around the league, we went with Treston Ebner from the Los Angeles Chargers practice squad to basically be the backup running back behind Kendre Miller, at least for this week. And moving forward, he'll probably get a lot more snaps. But we did end up releasing Ezra off the team to basically take his place. I did also want to go into trades. We haven't really talked too much about making any trades, but I am still open to doing such. The quarterback room is not that bad. Mac Jones, the top guy on the list of quarterbacks. You got Desmond Ridder, former Falcon, Aiden O'Connell, the former Raider, Malik Willis, who's on the Packers right now, kind of splitting starts. Trey Lance on the Chargers, which is kind of surprising. You got some solid options that could potentially be number 2 behind Derek Carr, or the future number 1 should Derek Carr retire or leave next year. Running back, I'm not too heavy on. I think I like Kendre Miller being our number 1. And receiver, we're still looking for that number 2 and number 3. I think Marquez Valdes-Scantling has done a great job at being the backup behind Chris Olave so far. But we don't really have that number 3 option on this team outside of maybe Joe Levert or veteran Foster Moreau, since Taysom Hill has missed a lot of time. I was opting to trade one of our draft picks to maybe get a little bit more leverage in the following years. So I did opt to look and see what our 5th round pick would give us, but nothing really caught my eye because it's just a 5th round pick. It's not going to have a lot of value. I want to look at our 1st round pick too. The only issue is we are winning a lot of games right now, so our 1st round pick, while it does have a lot of value, it doesn't have a whole lot of value than if we were playing a lot worse. Some of these trades do look interesting, like the one with the Cardinals and the Bears. We got one with the Chargers for still. DeForest Buckner, I think, would be a great addition to the team, but I decided to pass on him, although that's something we could look back on in the future. Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins, Mooney from the Falcons, I think would be a great number 2 for us. Newman from the Giants would be a great addition, but I opted not to make any moves, at least not now. We still do have our bye week next week and week 8, which should be, I believe, the last week before the trade deadline. I don't remember off the top of my head. But we got a big rivalry game going on as the New Orleans Saints will take on the Atlanta Falcons. This, I think, is going to be our toughest matchup we've had so far outside of the 49ers game. The 49ers killed us, to say the least. But the Falcons, like I said, I think they have a great young core led by Michael Penix Jr. And they've got a lot of stars on this team nonetheless. As we head to Mercedes-Benz Stadium to go head-to-head with the Atlanta Falcons, led by the secondary that I've praised so far all video. The Saints look to move up to 5-1 and maintain their lead in the NFC South. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons look to even up their record at 3-3 as we're underway for week number 6 of the 2025 NFL season. This kick is going to be returned. It'll make it all the way to the 29, about the 30. And we'll get our first look at Michael Penix Jr. also making his first start. Well, not first start, but his first starting year, I'll say. And he hasn't been playing too bad. He's over 1,000 yards already, and he's got 10 touchdowns to show for. As to go with the first play of the game, Michael Penix fakes the handoff. He's being chased from behind by Turner. He's caught on the side, and that is no gain, unfortunately, for the Falcons. Second play, a man in motion again. Play action, actually not. It's a handoff to Mason, who will have no gain. Mason is starting today. As we mentioned earlier, Bijan Robinson is out for the weekend. Moving forward, time to throw for Penix, and that's no good. He'll throw it away. And an instant 3-and-out for the Atlanta Falcons, just like that. And now the Saints will be able to get the ball off this punt attempt. This one is going to be kicked inside the 30. Lyle White, the rookie, to return. He won't get anywhere, as that's a nice play on White. And now we'll get a look at Derek Carr. Derek Carr has surprised me this year with how well he's been playing. Slightly over 1,500 yards. He's got 13 touchdowns, which is top 5 in the NFL right now. And 9 interceptions. The interceptions are a little bit high, but when you got 4 wins, does it really matter? First play of the game for the Saints, it's a handoff to Miller. He won't really get much going. He'll only manage to get 1. Now it's 2nd and 9. Derek Carr trying to get the defense to jump. He will make a throw here. He tries to run away. Instead, he'll be sacked by Arnold Ebiketie, who also leads this team in sacks. As we looked at earlier, he's already got one more. 3rd and 11. Quick throw out the middle. That is incomplete, as Marquez Valdes-Scantling couldn't haul it in. And the Saints, on their first drive, instantly go 3 and out as well. It's now a punt attempt to the Falcons. It's a fair catch, as they'll start about the same place they started their last drive. And look at receptions. I also love that this game doesn't include this. Drake London is number 2. He trails Amon-Ra St. Brown and Puka Nacua in the reception numbers. I'm glad the Madden 25 actually includes that. That's really cool. But Michael Penix, he's going to route the pocket. He'll get the first down and slide forward. And a nice 15-yard gain to get the first down of the game. Michael Penix, he has the ability to use his legs, but most quarterbacks in this league do. So, is that anything special? I think so still. Michael Penix, with time to throw, he'll kick it to the left side. That's Kyle Pitts, and that will be a first down for him. Alright, looked a little bit at Kyle Pitts. I want him to improve a lot this year, and I think the Falcons do too. Want to get back to rookie season form. Hand off to Jordan Mason on the outside. He'll actually lose a yard. And Drake London is shaken up, favoring his shoulder, so he'll go back to the tunnel. That's a huge loss for the Atlanta Falcons, as he does lead the team in receptions. We'll have to see how they perform and if he's going to be okay. Michael Penix finds a target right up the middle, beats Hugo Amadi. That's a huge gain inside the 20. That's Rondale Moore. And one thing about this secondary, they don't have a lot of speed behind them outside of Paulson and Debo and kind of Kool-Aid McKinstry, but a lot of times these guys end up getting beat, as we've seen time and time again. It's 3rd and 2 for Atlanta, though. A chance to potentially score, or the Saints can get a stop, throw on the right side. That's caught and in the end zone, and that's a touchdown for the Atlanta Falcons. On their second drive of the game is Ray McCloud III. The last time you heard that name, he had 3 touchdowns in, I believe, the week 2 victory. Actually, it was probably they lost week 2, but it was a win nonetheless. And now the Saints will get the kickoff return. Hugo Amadi has some solid returns so far, and he'll get this to the 41. And that's one of the best returns you're going to see with this new kicking rule. Have we seen a kick return? I don't know. The first play now on the drive is handoff to Miller, makes a man miss. He's got room to run. He's deep in the trenches, and he will be stopped inside the 20. And the Saints get a nice, huge run play and a first down for Kendre Miller, who's got a lot to prove in this week against the Atlanta Falcons. He did step up last week against the Jets. He's looking to move forward. 2nd and 6 now for the Saints. Derek Carr is going to back up the throw to the left side. That's caught by White. He'll fight for the end zone. That's a nice touchdown for Lyle White. And I believe that's his 3rd or 4th, I lost track, of the year. And the Saints will easily tie this game up in just a few plays. As this one is going to be a touchback. With 6:15 left to go in the first quarter, we've already got a bit of offense going this time around. Nice throw to the left side that is caught by Darnell Mooney. That's not a first down. He has 65 yards, well, over 50 yards. I know I tried to say that wrong. Last week in the loss to the Patriots. It's now 3rd and 1 for Atlanta. Penix to throw, nice one up the left side. That is caught for another first down for Darnell Mooney, who's not getting into it with the defense. That should be a penalty, but you know what? These things don't happen in Madden. But it's another 3rd and 1 for the Atlanta Falcons now around midfield. And they're going to hand this one off to Mason. He's untouched. He'll fight for the first down and a lot more. Tackled at the 35-yard line. So Atlanta in Saints territory. This has happened way too often. 3rd and 3 again. Can the Saints get the stop? The answer is no. They'll allow a catch up the middle, and that's called for another first down. That's Rondo Moore. 2nd and 10. They'll hand this one off to Mason. He'll fight for 4 yards. That's a nice, decent gain. It's now 3rd and 6. The Saints have already allowed the 3 third down conversions on this drive alone, and that one is no good as Pitts was just out of bounds as he made the catch. So the Saints managed to hold out and force the Atlanta Falcons to kick a field goal. This one not too far, and it is good. Young Hey Cool, one of the best kickers in the entire NFL. If you ask me, one of the best younger kickers in the entire NFL. Now the Saints get the ball back with 34 seconds left. They'll pitch this one outside to Miller. He'll get about 5, and that will end the first quarter. Not a lot of offense in that first drive for both teams, but it's 10-7 nonetheless. To start the game off, the Falcons looking kind of hot, but the Saints holding out a little bit. It's now 3rd and 6. Saints need a first down to keep their drive pushing. This one will be a play action fake for Carr, trying to buy some time. He'll use his legs. He'll get the first down as he runs it out of bounds. Derek Carr has shown he's been able to use his legs this year. He's got that ability. 2nd and 6 now for Kendre Miller. He gets deep in the secondary. No one's going to catch him, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown Saints. Kendre Miller, that's his 4th on the year. He had 2 last week against the Jets, and he's keeping that going. We already talked about how we need him to outplay the Falcons this year. We make the extra point, and now it's 14-10 on a big run play for Kendre Miller. Over 60 yards. That one up the middle. That's caught. He breaks through. I don't know how he did that, but guess what? He's going to run the race, and just like that, the Falcons retake the lead. Rondale Moore showing off that strength. He beat three defenders. You look at it again, right up the middle. He tanked the tackle by Amadi. The defense basically ran into each other, and in just one play, the Falcons take the lead. That's how fast you can lose the lead in the NFL. It was a 71-yard throw. And now the Saints were right back on offense. They scored just as quick, though. Play action fake now for Carr. He's going to go to the right side for Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who's going to get a big first down. I mentioned that Marquez Valdes-Scantling has stepped up to being the number 2 receiver on this team behind Chris Olave, and we need him to step up to the plate. How about Miller? He's going to run right up the middle and get the first down. He's already got over 100 yards on the day because that's that big run that he had earlier. It's 2nd and 7. Play action again to the left side, wide open, but overthrown is Joe Levert, and that will force a 3rd down. Carr missing the throw, and he'll get it back to Levert, give him a second chance, and this time up the middle, he's got him for a first down. And now it's 3rd and 3. Saints trying to prevent to having to kick a field goal, although the field goal would tie the game, but you want a touchdown in this scenario. They'll retake the lead and gain some momentum. Hand off to Miller right up the middle. That's a first down. Inside the 5, just went right up the gut. Easier chance for the Saints now to score. It's 1st and goal. They're going to toss it to Miller. He finds the hole, and he's in the end zone again for the 2nd time already, and the 4th time in 2 weeks. Touchdown Saints. They regain the lead 21-17 with 6 minutes left to go in the first half. Nice pass outside to Ray McLeod. That's a first down. You have to fight for extra. Michael Penix already has two touchdowns on the day, to point that out. 1st and 10. Man in motion. It's going to be a play action now for Penix. He's going to go deep to the right side, and somehow that's caught. That was behind Mooney's back, and somehow he made that catch. I don't know how he did it. It's not a bad throw by Penix, but it's behind Mooney's back, but it made it work. Right up the middle, that is a touchdown for Darnell Mooney on the very next play. And the Falcons regain the lead just like that. A high-scoring affair here in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, as now Carr and the Saints have the football, who kick it out to Bub Means, who had the one start against the Panthers. He'll get the first down, however. Taking the place now for Chris Olave, who's out for the day. Hand off to Miller. He's got nowhere to go. He runs into a brick wall, and that's Hill. He'll lose 4. It's now 3rd and 7. 3:33 left to go in the first half. Carr backs up to throw, runs out of time, and he's sacked. And that's Arnold Ebiketie again with his 3rd tackle but 2nd sack of the day. And now the Saints have to punt the ball away with a little over 3 minutes left. The Falcons have the time to actually put him some work. He's going to break a tackle, but this will not be returned anywhere. But Darnell Mooney had the 2 catches on that last drive and resulted in a touchdown up the middle. That's a nice throw. And that's caught for a first down. That's Ray-Ray McCloud again. 2 minutes left now. We've hit the 2-minute warning. 1 deep safety for the Saints, and that is a contested throw. Kool-Aid McKinstry is there to make the play. And now 3rd and 10, 1:54 left. Can the Falcons convert? Nice throw to Ray-Ray McCloud again. They will not. Stopped at the 37. And this will force about a 50-yard kick for Young Hae Koo. Running down the clock to prevent the Saints from having much time, and it won't matter because the kick is wide left. That's no good. I'm surprised he missed it so far off. And now the Saints have a little bit over a minute to try to put at least 3 on the board. We'll see if they can. Carr backs up the throw. He's going to underthrow it. It was incomplete. He was trying to find Marcus Valdes-Scantling, but was hit as he threw it. Now it's 3rd and 4, 51 seconds left. They'll hand this one off to Miller. He's deep in the past the Falcons territory, but that won't matter. There's a holding call on the Saints. So this play will be brought back. It's now 3rd and 14, or 3rd and 11, sorry, unfortunately, for the Saints with 47 seconds left. Now Carr will have to throw this thing to the right side. That is incomplete. A.J. Terrell is there to hold down Lyle White. Now the Falcons get the ball with a little over 30 seconds left on the clock. Michael Penix, he'll try to go deep this time around. That is incomplete. Hugo Amadi kept up with him. Not often you see that happen. It's 2nd and 10 now with still 30 seconds left to go. Plenty of time left on the clock for some big play. Michael Penix will try to run away. He'll go deep to the left side. That is incomplete. And this time it's Tyrann Mathieu, the former Chief, prevents the catch. It's 3rd and 10. The Falcons will have to just run this one with Mason to keep the clock running, but the Saints will use their second to last timeout to try to make something happen with a little under 20 seconds left to go. That won't work for Carr. Hit as he throws. 7 seconds left to go. 2nd and 10. You can possibly get into field goal range with just one play. And Carr's going to find his man. It's Marquez Valdes-Scantling who breaks through the plane deep in the secondary, and he's going to score to close out the first half. What a great way to end the first half. That's a great throw by Carr in between the safeties. You just got to rely on him to outrun him. And after that play, it's now a 28-24 ending to the first half. Quite the active first half we had. Also, no turnovers. Crazy to see that. We did see a game similar to last week against the Jets, but the difference was there's 5 turnovers in the first half. This time there isn't. Look around the league like we always do. The Buffalo Bills and Carolina Panthers are currently at a stalemate at 14 to close out the first half. Panthers looking for their 2nd win of the year. The Vikings currently lead the Packers by a huge margin, 17-3. The Packers haven't really had that good of a year this year, which is kind of surprising because they have some of the weapons to do it, but the Packers looking pretty terrible. And the Buccaneers and the Patriots. The Buccaneers actually won 38-28. The Patriots will see in week 8 after our bye week, and the Bucs will see week 11. But that's a ways away from now. But this game has been all offense. Not a lot of defense, but there have also been a lot of big plays that both defenses have let up. The big run play we saw earlier for Kendrick Miller and this big throw, which probably would have been about for 15-20 yards, but he broke away. And we find ourselves in a 20-24 game in just one half. So we'll see how things flourish. We'll see how both teams can adjust to how this game has went by. The Saints will start off with the ball first. We're going to hand it off to Miller, and he's got a nice run attempt. Makes an adjustment right up the middle. He's got over 150 yards on the ground. He's having a great game, matching his numbers pretty much last week against the Jets. Really loving this guy. He wasn't meant to start, but with Alexander Madison out, a player like him, he's had to step up. Derek Carr puts him in motion. He's all alone in the backfield, and he'll make a nice throw to Joe Levert, the rookie tight end. He's going to find ourselves inside the 30. 1st and 10 again. Tristan Ebner with his first run attempt of the day, end of the season. And that's a nice gain of 4, but he actually is shaken up. He'll be on the sideline, and that's not ideal. If he's hurt, then that leaves Kendrick Miller as our only running back for the rest of the game. Carr to the right side. He'll find Bub Means, and that's a 1st down. Sorry, that's Miller. I can't read, but that's Kendrick Miller, who's actually in the pass game this time around. And now it's 1st and goal inside at the 5. Carr to buy some time. He'll find Valdez Scantling again. He's in the end zone. His 2nd touchdown of the day. And now the Saints will build on this lead. It's 34-24 now. And with the extra point made, it's now 35-24. The Falcons need something to happen. They've got plenty of time to make it happen. Hand off to Mason. He's going to break free. He's in the secondary, but a touchdown saving tackle leaves him at just the 43. If he breaks that tackle, that's a touchdown. We've already established that. Michael Penix to the right side. That's caught. A 1st down, a big day for Rondale Moore, who gets the 1st down and out the 22. Hand off to Mason. He will get 8. It's now 3rd and 2. The Saints have had trouble stopping pretty much any team on 3rd down this year, and this will not be any different. Mason breaks the tackle, and he'll get the 1st down. He'll break the play, and it's now 1st and goal at the 10. Now the Saints have a bigger task than trying to stop them from scoring. Nice throw to the left side. That's almost caught. It was batted away, but almost caught by Pitts on the way down. That's no good. They couldn't complete their 2nd and goal opportunities. Now it's 3rd and goal. Play action fake. Trying to buy some time to the right side. He'll throw it away. And the Saints defense stands their ground and forces a field goal for Younghoe Koo to make it a 8-point game. The kick is up and in between the uprights. It's good. Now the Falcons are down by only 8. It's a 1-possession game now, 35-27. 18 minutes left to go in the game. It's 2nd and 2. Hand off to Miller, and once again he has a pretty solid gain. It's not a 10-yard game, but it's a 1st down, and it's over 5. 1st and 10. Flash and fake for Carr, trying to buy some time. Has to run away with the sack, and he threw it away, so that's just no good. It avoids the sack. So it's 3rd and 6 though. At the 49-yard line, about midfield. Carr with time to throw. He throws it to Miller. That's incomplete. He actually dropped it. Probably better that he dropped it instead of losing yards. But the Saints will not convert, and they'll force a 4th down and a punt, but it doesn't matter because there's a sack on Michael Penix Jr. I don't know what Shaq Thompson's doing, but it's a loss of 6. 2nd and 16. And then there's a handoff to Mason on the right side. He'll go nowhere, and he's jumbled up. It's now 3rd and 20 at the 10-yard line. And all of a sudden, the Falcons find themselves losing 10 yards. Michael Penix to run away. The ball is lost. He fumbles the football in the end zone, and it's out of bounds and is ruled a safety. And the defense holds up Peyton Turner. makes a huge play. As look at it again, he did lose it on the way out. I thought it was just going to be incomplete pass. I thought that's what they ruled it, but he lost it the moment he took the hit, which I guess is ruled a fumble. I don't know if that's how it is in real life, but let me know. But this is the second time we've gotten a safety this year. The first time was, I believe, against the 49ers in week 2. So now we're up 37-27. Momentum on our side. Kendre Miller, he's got 5 rushing touchdowns on the year, including the 2 he already has in this game. I believe it's just 1. Carr with a nice throw to Valdez-Scantling, covered by A.J. Terrell, one of the best corners in the league. And that's a first down. He's reached over 100 yards on the day. He'll reset the downs. 1st and 10. Play action fake again and finds Marquez Valdez-Scantling again inside the 25 for another first down. What I said earlier, when you lose your star receiver, you need guys to step up, and the vet Marquez Valdez-Scantling is just the guy to do it. This time we'll run the ball. Kendre Miller, he's going to get an easy first down, not met till he reaches the marker. And now we're inside the 15. 3rd and 10 though. Hand off to Miller to the left side. He won't get much. He'll get 5. The Falcons hold out and force a field goal, which is fine. New Orleans will take their 3 points. The kick is up, and it is just good. It's now 40-27 in favor of the Saints. With 1:25 left to go in the 3rd quarter. There's still plenty of time for the Falcons to come back. The Saints haven't really been able to build a huge lead. At this point, this kick will be returned as a solid return inside the 30, or inside the 40. Jordan Mason hasn't had a standout game, and with the score, he won't get much. But it's a nice throw to Kyle Pitts, as Hugo Amadi was kind of right there. I'm surprised he didn't make a play on it. But that's a completion. New set of downs. Probably the last play of the 3rd quarter. Michael Penix trying to buy some time. He'll run up the middle, and he will be short of the first down marker as he slides. The 2nd and inches. That will close out the 3rd quarter. The Falcons trail by 13, a 2-possession deficit. And they've got a lot of work to do, but the offense has been strong. The Falcons pass midfield at the 37 to start off the 4th quarter, and that's a nice throw to Ray McCloud, who's going to get the first down. Michael Penix eclipses 300 yards in the air now. Hasn't thrown an interception yet. The Saints have a hard time forcing those things. Hand off to Mason. He's going to break through on the right side. That side is empty. He'll score his first touchdown of the game, and he'll cut this deficit to just 7. And decided he needed to run on the weak side of the defense this time around. Saints were not holding their ground on that right side, and he made them pay. And now we're back on the new on the 4th quarter, first drive for the Saints, and that's a tough play by Trestan Ebner. He's back in the game, and he gets a nice solid game of 8 yards. And now it's a handoff to Miller. He will barely get the first down there. If you ask me, I don't think he got it, but am I gonna question it? Not really. 1st and 10 at the 49. Trestan Ebner again, a big man play. Turned a no-gainer 1-yarder into 7. Trestan Ebner came back from an injury, and he means business. Carr with time to throw. He'll run away. He'll get the first down and a lot more as he gets inside the 20-yard line for the first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. 9 minutes left. Carr, he'll check it to Miller. And no block up ahead for Arnold Ebiketie, who makes another big play. It's now 3rd and 13. Carr to throw, trying to buy some time. He'll check it to Ebner, and that'll be a gain of 6. So Falcons, with that big play by Arnold Ebiketie, hold out and make sure the Saints have to kick a field goal. Still a 2-possession game. If he makes it, that is good. It's a 9-point game. Ebner was involved pretty heavily in that drive. Love to see it for the young running back. who we picked up off the practice squad, who's going to get a lot of playing time down the line. Now it's the Falcons' turn, and that's an interception. Tyrann Mathieu. That's a bad throw by Michael Penix off the back foot. He threw it away from his body. That's Mathieu's first interception on the season. And that's Penix's 6th on the year. So now the Saints have great field position. It's 3rd and 2. Ebner gets the ball. Nice juke move. He'll get inside the 10, 1st and goal. Saints have the time and the opportunities to do a lot. It's a play action fake, and that is a bad throw and an interception by A.J. Terrell. And he'll return this to the 8. And that's just a terrible play. In that situation, you have to run the ball, or at least in that situation, you have to throw the ball away. I didn't really see him in front. I kind of tried to force a throw. It was a terrible throw. You're going to see that a lot from me because I do make stupid mistakes like that. But the Falcons get the ball back. The Saints don't take advantage of the turnover. Now it's 5 minutes left for the Falcons. They have a chance to cut this deficit. That's a nice first down. That's a nice first down play. Falcons to move the chains. 5:12 left to go in the game. Michael Penix to throw. Pressure coming. He will kick it to the right side. That's caught by Pitts. He'll run out of bounds. It's 2nd and 1. Under 5 minutes left to go now. Michael Penix will hand this one off to Mason as he will get the first down a little bit more. Falcons will need to rush these big plays. They're only down by 9. And they have the 2-minute warning and timeouts to their advantage. Michael Penix to throw again. He'll run out of the pocket. He'll head out the way to the linebacker area. And so get the first down, barely. They're going to play a little bit of hurry up. And they'll go to the left side wide open. It's a first down for Rondale Moore. Stepped out of bounds and stopped the clock. So a huge play for the Falcons. Now that they're in Saints territory. And a nice throw to the left side for Kyle Pitts. Another first down. And there's a Saint injured on the play. It's Carl Granderson, which luckily for the Falcons stops the clock. And for the Saints it's a big deal. And that's a nice throw to the left side. And that's in the end zone for the Falcons as they cut the deficit now to 3. Darnell Mooney makes a huge play. It's now 3rd and 10 for the Saints. Over 2 minutes left to go in the game. Trying to waste the clock. Carr trying to throw up the middle. That's incomplete. Meant for Joe Levert. A contested throw. It doesn't pan out. Now for the Falcons, 2 minutes left to go. 1st and 10. Penix to throw. He'll just check it down. It's not a first down, but it's a good play. The Falcons need only a field goal to win this game. They don't really have to rush the clock. That's a halfback screen wide open for Mason. He'll get the first down. He reaches about the 40. The Falcons, for some reason, use a timeout. I don't really know why. The TP logic is kind of weird. The 1st and 10 now at the 41. That is a contested throw. Amadi couldn't make the tackle. And that results in a first down for the Falcons. And they decide to hurry up. Put pressure on the Saints. Michael Penix to throw to the left side. That's the same play they did on the last drive. It works to perfection again. And they're now well in field goal range. Hand off to Mason. He'll easily get the first down. The Falcons, for some reason, use a timeout again that they didn't really need to use. And the Saints are going to try to let them score because they don't benefit from stopping them. And the Falcons will take the lead with under a minute left to go. How often have the Saints been in this position now? Derek Carr has had 2 comeback games so far this year. Will this be his 3rd? But Young Hiku with the kick, that's good. It's now 48-43 in favor of the Falcons. 31 seconds left to go. 1st and 10. A turnover ends this game. And that's exactly what will happen as it's intercepted by Eric Fulcher, the rookie strong safety. Terrible throw by Derek Carr. But then again, Eric Fulcher jumped the route. There's not much you can do about it. And that will close out this game. And the Saints will lose their first game since week 2 against the 49ers. And the Falcons go even at 3-3 and are the only NFC South team currently to have the advantage against the Saints. A huge offensive play, 3 turnovers in the end in the second half. Unfortunately, 2 by us, and the losing turnover for us late in the game. Michael Penix has an amazing game. Derek Carr, he was still solid. He was more so inconsistent, and the 2 turnovers obviously hurt. Michael Penix had the 4 touchdowns. He threw over 400 yards. Next example of our defense just being very poor in the air. But Jordan Mason and Kendre Miller both stepped up to the plate when they needed to, and Treston Ebner had a solid few plays for us. The receiving core, they did their thing for Atlanta. They absolutely murdered us. Rondell Moore and Darnell Mooney specifically. Marcus Valdes-Scantling did step up to the plate when he needed to. Arnold Ebiketie killed us on the defensive side in terms of getting to the sacks. Eric Fulcher got his first interception on his young career. That's going to close out week 6 for us, as we do end up suffering a loss. However, Kendre Miller did get a slight improvement due to his play outplaying Mason and the Atlanta Falcons in general, so he will get a nice little upgrade. Jordan Howden also got a slight upgrade because he is playing really well this year. He's continuing at stride. Look around the league. The Buffalo Bills did end up besting the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers are now 1-5 on the year. Josh Allen is doing Josh Allen things. And what do you expect from a guy that's just got too much sauce? Why did I say that? I have no idea. But let's just say Josh Allen is killing it in the NFL for sure. The defense also paves their way and helps out as well, because the defense is just as good as the offense. I think the offense is better. But also, the Cleveland Browns end up losing on the road to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson over 200 yards throwing the football. I don't know why these run stats are so scuffed. We got Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry, but they're not great. The Giants actually win this game against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Justin Herbert with 3 interceptions, and for one of the few times this year, Lawrence House actually outplays the other squad. It's not something you see supremely often throughout the year, but Drew Phillips was responsible for 2 of those interceptions. The Tennessee Titans got dogged by the San Francisco 49ers 40-17. We've been looking a lot at Preston Kennedy this year. We will get to see him later this year as well. He's had some up and down games, but he's not winning a lot. Which, does that say a lot about him? I don't know. 2 interceptions thrown by him this time around. And then we see our first shutout of the year. The Rams and Mark O'Neal destroy Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Kyler Murray had 2 interceptions in this game, no touchdowns, and the offense looked completely terrible, surprisingly. Not a great day for for Arizona. And probably one of the biggest games that we've seen this year, a rematch from the playoffs. The Houston Texans do lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a potential matchup we'll see even this year. But Patrick Mahomes takes it again. And also, we have a bye week next week, but we'll see the Patriots in week 8. They end up losing to the Buccaneers 38-28. And that's going to do it for week number 6 of the 2025 season. Next episode, hopefully we'll release tomorrow or the next day, is going to be a combination of the bye week and week 8. So it might end up being a little bit longer, but it's going to cover more, so I didn't want it to be its own episode. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Tell your friends, your family, everyone who likes football. And if you like the Saints, if you don't like the Saints, who cares? But until next time, peace out.